All right, so we have the April 29th meeting of the Conservation Commission, which is being recorded and possibly broadcast live. We're going to stand and salute the flag, please, before we start the meeting.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, first hearing is for a septic for Santos LLC, 149 West Beach Road. Lenny, how are you tonight? Good. I know he's even early.
Len Potter, Westport Environmental Design, here for Tom DeMarsh, Santos LLC. This is 149 West Beach Road. If you take East Beach Road all the way to the causeway and hang it right on West Beach Road, this is the third house on the left. So it fronts on the ocean directly to the west. The main house has a septic system for 4 bedrooms located here with an existing 1,000-gallon tank. The main house originally, when this was repaired back in 2015, was a 4-bedroom house. The man on board, Mr. Gamache, it was 2 families, one up, one down. He gutted the house out, and the board house went in to confirm that there's 2 bedrooms in this main house. This cottage out front has its own cesspool. So now that there's 2 bedrooms in here, 2 bedrooms in here, so the 4-bedroom septic will receive the sewage from the cottage, get rid of the cesspool, and tie directly into the tank. So that eliminates the cesspool on this, it's not a barrier beach, but it's a coastal beach. So it's a pretty simple project. Big cutting off the pipe here, filling the cesspool, connected to the existing tank. There's no change in grades, everything stays the same. That's pretty much it.
Chris?
Mr. Chairman, members, Thomas Gamache, Santos LLC, 149 West Beach Road. This is a request for the determination of applicability filed by Westport Environmental Design. Report date is April 22nd, 2025. I believe the Board of Health has considered this, Lenny? You just had this tonight?
No,
Monday night?
there's no need for a formal board meeting on this.
This is not needed Board of Health approval. Thank you.
No variances or anything.
Okay, thank you. Detailed description of the work, the owner has filed to replace a 4-inch septic pipe connection to an existing septic tank. An existing cesspool will be decommissioned per Title V. The work is for the existing structures that have been existing for many years. The work is within a flood zone, VE zone, but will not cause any adverse effect to the flood area. No change in elevation is proposed, as Mr. Potter mentioned. Resource area to be impacted this work is flood zone. Recommendations to the board: the Westport Conservation Commission should approve the proposed work with a negative box 2 determination for 149 West Beach Road.
Any questions, Len?
No question.
Is this a septic system or just a tight tank?
It was a septic system.
Full system? Okay.
We installed this system back in 2015.
All right.
4 bedrooms.
Any questions from the table? All right, look for a motion.
So I move to approve the plan for 149 West Beach Road with a negative box 2 determination.
Second.
That was Phil and Jason. All in favor? Opposed? All right, that's unanimous. Thank you, Len. Susan Aronofsky et al., 200 Cadman's Neck Road. This is also a septic.
Again, Len Potter, Westport Environmental Design, here for Susan Aronofsky at 206 Cadman's Neck Road. This is the on Cadman's Neck Road. This is the last house on the left-hand side, on the east side of Cadman's Neck Road. The river is sold, it's right in here. It's a 4-bedroom existing home, cesspool located, as I showed, between the shed, between the 2 sheds. And what we propose to do is to install a septic tank here and pipe it into a 4-bedroom system using the quick 4 chambers. The closest of concern is the top of the coastal bank, which runs right along here like this. This property essentially is level, elevation 22, 21, and 20. Then it drops down, it's like a glacier cut that sweeps right on down to the river. The wetlands edge is back right alongside of the river shore here. It's all I can do with what I have, with wells being concerned and all that. And it's just the best solution that I can come up with. There's really no change in grade at all. The water table is deep. So everything, grade stays pretty much as it is, and it's a matter of installing the tank, putting in a new leach field, and getting rid of that cesspool. That's what they're trying to do.
Thank you. Chris?
Mr. Chairman and members, Susan Aronofsky, 206 Cadman's Neck Road. This is a request for determination of applicability filed by Westport Environmental Design. The report date is April 22nd, 2025. Again, this requires Board of Health approval as well. Description: the owner has filed to repair the existing sewage disposal system to a Title V design. The existing cesspool will be decommissioned per Title V and filled in place. The new septic tank is within the 100-foot buffer zone to the Westport River. The leaching area is designed 66 feet as far from the edge of the river that is feasible given the other well radiuses from abutting lots. The leaching area will also be 12 feet from the top of the coastal bank, which, as Lenny mentioned, is the only scenario that he can do with the well radiuses. So it is slightly not Title V compliant per se, because it's supposed to maintain a 25-foot setback from the bank. But given the circumstances, I don't see what else there is to do. So resource areas impacted by this is flood zone and buffer zone. Recommendations to the board: the Westport Conservation Commission should approve the sewage disposal system repair for 206 Cadman's Neck Road with a negative box 3 determination. Actually, it should be a negative box 2 determination, I'm sorry. Negative box 2 determination.
Pending Board of Health too.
Pending Board of Health.
The Board of Health approved the plan last night.
Oh.
We had concerns about the wells, high manganese, but essentially, once we have that water
Thank you, Lon.
situation squared away, then it's the
Okay,
board's-
so you're all set with the Board of Health, okay.
Yep, we're all set with Board of Health.
All right, questions? No questions, a motion, please?
I move we approve the disposal system repair with a negative box 3 determination.
Bucks 2.
Second.
Okay, that was Bert and Phil. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that's unanimous. Thank you, Lenny.
Thank you.
First hearing for the night, Thomas Hannon, notice of intent, 143 Cherry and Webb Lane, SE 802788. Construct accessory dwelling unit over the garage and septic upgrade in the riverfront. Thank you, Dave. This is next door to Sullivan. Next door to Sullivan. 143.
Right next door, yeah,
The one that's totally rebuilt.
to the right, yeah.
Yes, coming out nice.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. Good evening. Mr. Chairman, Commission members, for the record, I'm Dave DeVigna from Schneider DeVigna Leone, here representing Thomas and Joy Hannon for 143 Cherry and Webb Lane. This is a property that has approximately 68,800 square feet of lot area. It's bordered by Cherry and Webb Lane on 2 sides, the Westport Harbor on the north side, and developed residential property along the west side. This is a project that was previously approved by the Westport Conservation Commission back in 2010, a very similar project, I should say, where the prior owner proposed construction of a garage attachment to the house and the construction of a new driveway coming in from the east, sort of at the midpoint of the S-curve for Cherry and Webb Lane. The work that did occur back then was the clearing of the land for the driveway. The garage was proposed to have its finished floor above base flood elevation of 12. It was proposed to be on columns, open pile foundation, but the driveway had to ramp up to get up to 12 because the grades are somewhere around 7, 8, 9, give or take. So the work that did occur under that old order was the construction of the bringing in of fill, the clearing of land for that driveway. So the area has been maintained as a sort of a rising grade lawn area, if you will. So the design for this project is very, very consistent with what was approved in the past. Garage is generally speaking in the same locations, 24 by 36. The secondary aspect of the project is to build an ADU unit above the garage, as allowed now by Massachusetts, and then utilize that cleared area to create a crushed shell driveway. So that will involve an increase in number of bedrooms of the house. The existing home was built in 1980. The existing septic system consists of a 1,000-gallon tank and a concrete flow-diffuser chamber leaching field, both located underneath the deck. Not the ideal situation. We're proposing to put in a denitrification septic tank and a pressure-dosed Elgin leaching field in the front of the house in full compliance with Title V. So this project is, all of the work is located outside of the riverfront boundary of the Westport River, Westport Harbor. That blue line that you see is a 200-foot riverfront boundary. We are obviously working on a coastal dune system, as not by CZM. It's considered a barrier beach, and it's land subject to coastal stone flowage, flood zone elevation 12. We do have a DEP file number. There were no comments. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Chris?
Mr. Chairman and members, Thomas Hannon, 143 Cherry and Webb Lane. This is a notice of intent filed by Schneider, DeVignan, and Leone with Dave DeVignan representing. The report date is April 22nd, 2025. The file number with no adverse comments is SE 802788. This will require Board of Health approvals. Site visit was also on April 22nd, 2025. Description of the work: the owner has filed to construct a garage with a one-bedroom ADU unit above. The site has a previous 2010 approval to construct a garage. Some work was completed under that order to raise the property off of Cherry and Webb Lane. The driveway access was also previously opened along that section of the road. The garage will be built on an open pile foundation with the garage floor elevation above the flood elevation of 12. A 75-foot stone block retaining wall on the south side of the new driveway will be required to limit the amount of grading required. The driveway will be crushed shells. The previous filing had reduced the west driveway that is currently used. This application, the driveway will also be reduced and 1,000 square feet of mitigation plantings proposed, maintaining a 3-foot section, 3-foot walkway to the rear of the home, as the homeowner had requested. So they are eliminating a good section of that driveway you see currently on the west side of the structure. The garage apartment will require an upgrade of the septic system to a 4-bedroom design. The new leaching area will be constructed in front of the home and includes a denitrification component. No work is proposed within the riverfront area. The project meets the requirements for work in a coastal dune area with this open pile design. The retaining wall is similar to others in the area, and I don't think it would be deflecting of any flood waters and cause harm to anybody. This garage will also infiltrate all roof runoff into a dry well system, which is beneficial to the area. Resource areas to be impacted are the flood zone and barrier beach coastal dune area. Recommendations to the board: the Westport Conservation Commission should approve the proposed 1-bedroom ADU garage with a septic upgrade, with conditions that 1,000 square foot of mitigation plantings be installed to reduce the westerly driveway size. I should mention that the planting scheme and associated plantings are acceptable as indicated on the plan of record, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Do you have any questions, Dave?
No, sir.
Any questions from the table?
Nope.
Any questions from the audience? That's easy. No questions, we'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to
One
approve.
second. Is this subject to Board of Health too?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the plan subject to Board of Health approval.
Second.
It's Jason and Kevin. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, it's unanimous.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Chris.
Good night, Dave. All right. Next, we have the Headtown Landing Country Store, Inc. Notice of intent, 488 Old County Road. upgrade septic system in riverfront and land subject to coastal storm flowage. SE, is this the one? Yeah, SE 80 2796. Anybody here for the town landing? Are we continuing this?
I thought there would be somebody here to open the hearing, Mr. Chairman.
All right, we'll move for a continuance for 4 weeks, 2 weeks, or we,
I would say if the green cards aren't here, Mr. Chairman, 2 weeks would be in order.
all right.
I would notify the neighbors or the people that may
Yeah.
be in the audience.
All right, so, looking for a motion, since there's no representation, to continue the hearing for the head town landing SE 80 2796 for 2 weeks. What is that? What's our next meeting? May 3rd, that'd be May 13th. Do I have a motion?
Motion to continue
All right,
to May 13th.
Kevin? Second from Phil. All in favor? Opposed? So anybody here for this filing, we'll be back on the 13th. You're welcome. Okay, David Mora, notice of intent, 144 Cherry and Webb Lane. Notice of intent, after the fact filing to construct elevated dune staircase, landing, walkway, and back dune plantings in the coastal resource area, Barrier Beach, and land subject to coastal storm flowage. How are you?
Good evening, folks. My name's Chris Frattaroli.
Do-
I'm a wetland scientist with Goddard
Do
Consulting.
you have the green cards, the notification cards?
I believe they should have been emailed to you, Chris, from Jessica from my office.
Did you?
When?
I assume within a day or so of submittal. Did that not make it to you?
I don't think I received any green cards for this.
Okay, well, that could be on us then.
Yeah, honestly, I do not recall any email from your office, except the conversation we had together about the deficiencies in
Right.
the application,
Right,
so.
We're gonna have to continue this now, we can't open the hearing without it.
noted.
All right, so 2 weeks?
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
good. We're waiting for heritage comments anyway, should be by the 1st.
All right, so we need to continue the David Moore notice of intent, 144 Cherry Lane. That's SE 80 2795, 2 weeks, which is May 13th.
Yeah, take a copy of my report.
Motion?
So you can see what my concerns were, which.
Sure, hopefully it's on it all on my next time.
Yeah, we slightly did.
Yeah, we need a motion?
I'll make a motion to continue.
It could
2
be
Okay.
us too.
Second.
Second from Jason and Kevin, all in favor? Opposed? All right, that's unanimous, say aye. DePont, Souza, and Nicholas, notice of intent, Marquardt Drive, construct stormwater basin and outfall pipe for construction of Marquardt Drive in the buffer zone. Anybody here for this one?
Now
Okay.
you got something on the agenda for the 13th.
Do we have,
Now we have a few things on the 13th.
are these the current green cards?
They are already in the file,
Okay,
Mr.
okay.
Chairman. They've been provided, correct?
All right, thank you. All right. Moving right along.
Yeah, I could have predicted that, I don't know.
Microphones on.
What?
They should have microphones on.
Oh, you guys need to have your microphones on. They're getting complaints from the people at home. Your rating's gonna go down if you don't put your microphone on.
Get myself in trouble.
All right. What do we have? I have this one right here. I'm fine, Valerie. I use my James Earl Jones voice to make it a little deeper, so it meets the microphone. Go ahead, sir.
Good evening, Matt Pike with South Coast Engineering, here on behalf of the applicant for the proposed work within the buffer zone. The resource is located within the Marquardt Drive subdivision. So the approved subdivision is located at Assessors Plat 52, Lot 28. That is on the east side of Drift Road, about a mile south of Old County Road. Currently, the lot is accessed from Drift Road by an approximate 10-foot gravel cart path, which will further be developed to a 22-foot wide paved way with HMA berms per the town's planning subdivision bylaw. In whole, this site contains approximately 16 acres. Within the 16 acres, there's 2 wetland areas. You can see this is the northern part of the property. You see a wetland here, which extends to the southern property line, and there's a small wetland in this location. So the stormwater flow path generally runs from north to south and terminates at the wetland area. All the proposed work and grade and maintain the existing stormwater flow path. The proposed work and disturbance has been kept to a minimum in order to preserve the site's natural conditions and green space. Erosion controls will be deployed prior to any work and maintained until the areas are stabilized. The stormwater system as designed complies with the 10 Mass DEP stormwater management standards, as well as the Town of Westport stormwater quality and quantity control regulation. That includes, but it's not limited to, treating the discharges, attenuating peak rates, recharging, providing water quality, volume control, and the provision of construction period erosion control and pollution prevention plan, and also an operation and maintenance plan for the system. So as for the system, the stormwater from the roadway will be directed to catch basins leading to a closed conduit drainage system. That closed conduit system will discharge to a sediment floor bay, which leads to an infiltration basin, which will then overflow as needed to a flared end. So you have the roadway here, you have a closed conduit system, will travel here to a floor bay to the main system, and then overflow to this flared end here. So all the discharges for all storm events are at a non-erosive velocity. The stormwater system, it will reduce the total suspended solids by more than 80%. The actual, I believe, is 89. And it's also going to reduce the rate and volume of runoff for all the storm events up to and beyond the 100. A minimum of 25-foot undisturbed buffer to the on-site wetlands will be maintained. So the closest point here is just to put the sedimentation sock in for clearing for that is 25 feet. And I believe you have another 25-foot area, basically 25-foot buffer around the whole wetland there. Lastly, impervious surfaces have been minimized. The resultant subdivision will be over 80% green space. That's over 13.5 acres of the 16 acres. In addition here, the applicant's counsel, Chris Elfin, is here tonight as well, if the commission has any questions for him. And now I'll turn it over to the commission.
Thank you. Chris?
Mr. Chairman, members DuPont, Souza, and Nicholas, this is Marquardt Drive off of Drift Road. Notice of intent application filed by South Coast Engineering. Matt Pike representing. Report date is April 24th, 2025. There is a file number with no adverse comments. It's SC 802797. Just for reference, this is basically a buffer zone project. The majority of what they represent is not within the commission's jurisdiction for the roadway construction. Homes, on the other hand, some of those may be within our jurisdiction, but for reference tonight, we are looking just at the stormwater basin that is on the southerly end of the cul-de-sac. The proposed road development off of Drift Road has been approved by the planning board. The road design is entirely out of the buffer zone except for the stormwater drainage area. The wetland limits are approved and still valid under the ORAD that was issued. The drainage basin is designed to meet the stormwater standards and remove 80% of the total suspended solids. This will be achieved with a pre-treatment sediment form day within the infiltration basin. The soils are consistent and suitable for infiltration in this area. They have 1.5 to 1.2 sandy gravel material on this site. The outlet control structure would be discharged out of the rear of the basin and will terminate 25 feet from the edge of the BVW. Riprap splash aprons will be included. The drainage calculations have been provided and very specific on the design before you. The berms will be seeded and stabilized before any stormwater discharges into the basin. This is my recommendation. They have provided a construction pollution prevention plan within their stormwater packet, as well as an operation and maintenance plan is included, detailing the maintenance of the site during and after construction. Something for reference, an MPDES permit will be required for this project and should be provided, or record of that should be provided to the commission. Erosion controls are shown to be erected around the disturbed area associated with this stormwater basin. So resource areas to be impacted on this project is buffer zone. Recommendations for the board: the Westport Conservation Commission should approve the stormwater infiltration basin and outlet pipe with standard conditions, separate conditions rather, basin to be constructed early in the proposed development with the area stabilized before discharging stormwater. An NPDES permit will be required, and also the construction pollution prevention plan and the operation and maintenance plan shall be part of the order of conditions for the record. That is all, Mr. Chairman.
Do you have any questions, Matt?
No, I don't, thank you.
Gentlemen, you have any questions?
Just to kind of clarify, the project has been allowed to move forward somehow via the planning board, but the planning board didn't vote in favor of this, correct?
Excuse me, they yeah, I'm sorry.
Said that, please.
Attorney Christopher Oliver, Blattman, Bobrovsky, Haverty, and Silverstein, my law offices in Concord. The planning board did approve this document. It wasn't approved definitively.
But they voted, the original vote was a 5-0 unanimous vote opposed to the project.
That's right.
And then no one seems to be able to explain the mechanism that resulted in either, was it incompetence, was it, so how did this go from the will of the people, 150 people at a meeting, 5-0 unanimous vote, to here we are with a project? Can you connect those dots?
I don't think that that's really the purview of
Yeah.
the Conservation Commission tonight, but thank
I think
you
it's
for your
important
comments.
enough for people to know that 150 people attended a meeting, a 5-0 vote, and here we are.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, there's legal standards that you have to meet under subdivision control law. There was limited waivers, and so the board did issue and grant the permit. Thank you.
Okay.
Let it go. Any other questions? Any questions from the audience? All right.
Can I just make one more comment? It just, you know, I live here, I love this town, and how I may or may not vote, I don't want to be misconstrued with how I feel about the project. I may not vote no, because I don't want to potentially involve Chris in an appeal that doesn't fall within our purview. So I hate the project,
All right.
and I want people to know why I'm voting the way I'm voting. It's just because it's not within our purview.
All right. All right, do we have a motion? If no questions.
So I will move to approve the stormwater infiltration basin and outlet pipe with standard conditions, basin constructed early in the proposed development with area stabilized before discharging stormwater, and subject to the NPDES permit being secured.
Thank you. We have a second?
I second it.
Thank you, Bert. That was Phil and Bert. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that's unanimous, Al. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Sean made it. Good as green cards.
Is he here? Oh, there he is. Charles Cowling, notice of intent, 424C, River Road, demolish dwelling, construct new, new dwelling, reconfigure the septic components, grade driveway, stormwater controls in the riverfront area. Good evening, Mr. Leach.
Did you exceed the speed limit at one point in the journey?
Do you have green cards tonight, sir?
He's on the ball. Jeez, you should leave town more often.
Where were you coming from, Rochester? Where were you coming? We come another meeting tonight?
Leiden, Mass.
Where's that?
Where's that?
Something in New Hampshire border. Vermont, New Hampshire.
Yeah, actually, I know there's 300, was it 56 towns and cities and towns?
Nice town. Here we get that over.
Not easy to get there from here.
Yeah, seriously, where is it? What's it near?
It's up above.
Greenfield?
It's above,
Okay.
yes. West of Greenfield, up there.
Falls?
A friend of his passed away, so we had to.
Yeah, my cousin passed away.
All right, I need those green cards, young man, before you
Okay,
start.
green card, all right.
Thank you.
Okay, John Leach, Northeast Engineers, representing Charles Cowling. This project has a number 0802798. What's happening here? This is a lot on 424C River Road, but it's at the end of Puddingstone Lane. Just at the end of Puddingstone Lane up here, there's a drainage basin for Puddingstone Lane right in front of this lot. It's a detention basin that was when subdivision was designed, it comes off and falls into here. This is the existing conditions plan. The existing condition plan had an existing cottage that is unsalvageable in many opinion. It's a 1.5 story, it's in tough shape, the chimney's falling over, and they wish to rebuild it. There are resource areas. One is a flood zone, a VE flood zone. X is not in the VE zone right now. There's a coastal bank, which is limited to 100. By the slope, it's the limit of the 100-year floodplain. Of course, and then there's riverfront areas. There's a 100-foot riverfront area and a 200-foot riverfront area, which basically takes up all the area on the lot. What they're proposing to do is to knock down this house, which is slightly in the 100-foot, put up another house, fairly modest house, almost in the same area, actually moving it out of the 100-foot buffer zone. We tried to move it further out. There's an existing leaching field that was installed in 2016, and we're up against the minimum offset for the leaching field for that particular thing. Is 25 feet. We're 27 feet off the leaching field as proposed for this thing. There is no driveway. There's an informal driveway where they've been parking on the lawn and actually on the septic tank over the last few years. We've been planning on installing a formal driveway. There will be a one-car garage for this particular residence and deck. To mitigate some of the stormwater, we've installed roof drain infiltration on most of the roof drain. The rest of it, including the drainage from the driveway, will go into a rain garden, which is located here, which will catch all the rainwater infiltrated there. We also plan, right now, the existing septic system off to the side of the house, not in an ideal location for the driveway. We plan on moving the septic system and pump chamber, or the septic tank pump chamber, over to this side of the house, actually making it closer to the existing septic system, which will function better. That has not been approved by the Board of Health. We were still waiting for the approval of the house on this, for this hearing. So we moved it out of the 100-foot. We provided drainage, stormwater drainage, and mitigation for the lot. The house itself, we've increasing, because of the driveway, about 1,200 feet of what I'll call impervious area. Even though it's a gravel driveway, we're treating it as impervious, but we're infiltrating it through a rain garden, and we're infiltrating all the roof drains into basically sub-drains for well. So I think it's a decent project. We try to be maximum feasible. There's nowhere else we can put this house and not be within the required offset of the leaching field or in zoning compliance. So that's about it.
Thank you. Chris?
Mr. Chairman, members, Charles Cowling, 424C River Road. This is a notice of intent application filed by Northeast Engineers and Consultants, with Sean Leach here representing. The report date is April 25th, 2025. The file number for this project with no adverse comments is SE 802798. Detailed description of the work. The owner has filed to demolish a small home and rebuild with a new structure in the riverfront and 100 foot to a coastal bank. The existing conditions are as follows. The home is 1,275 square feet. The driveway is 675 square feet. Total area of current impermeable area on the lot is 1,950 square feet. The new proposed home will be raised above the flood elevation with a finished floor of 24.5 and will be a total area of 1,800 square feet. The proposed driveway, this new driveway is a little larger. It will be 1,250 square feet. The total disturbance for the new work is 3,050 square feet combined with the proposed stormwater rain garden of 200 square feet. This still falls well under the 5,000 square foot allowance of disturbance that could be permitted or may be permitted by this commission. The septic tank existing, and it needs to be relocated to the rear of the new home, and the pump chamber to connect to the new to the existing Title V sewage disposal system. A required alternative analysis has been provided and prepared in accordance with the maximum extent feasible, given that there is no area outside of the riverfront on this lot. The project under 310 CMR must not be any closer than existing, makes overall site improvements, and stormwater management is provided. In my opinion, the project as designed meets the standards for development in the riverfront area for a structure that predates 1995. Grading of the driveway will divert water to a proposed rain garden in an effort to improve the current conditions. Roof runoff is also directed into a dry well system. Resource areas to be impacted is riverfront, flood zone, and buffer zone to a coastal bank. Recommendations for the board: the Westport Conservation should approve the project to rebuild a new home and relocate the septic components with the installation of a rain garden and dry wells with standard conditions, because we have received the file number. That is all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Sean, any questions? Any questions from the commission?
Sean, how many feet approximately is the river edge to Sanford Flat? The edge is, it's right across, literally right there. Yeah. I mean, is there room to put a dock there and pass on that side, or is it that shallow where you couldn't pass on that side?
It's got an existing dock on it.
Okay.
It's pretty shallow out front,
Yeah.
and more for eutrophication than anything else in that
Yep.
particular area. It's like a little, I want to say like a little cove.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a, right.
Right.
Well, the cove's a little just to the
Yeah.
other side.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Okay.
Any other questions from the commission? Any questions from the audience?
Yes, I'm sorry. Pardon me.
You can just,
I've got a wounded dog here, so I had to bring them because I have to otherwise drug her.
I'm allergic to them. Literally. I'm gonna have to go home and take
how are you, you can just state your, well, you know the drill. State your name up here if you could, and,
Okay, you want, no,
yeah, right at the microphone, that's good. State your name and, just, and ask your question, Constance.
I'm sorry to be late. Y'all are quick tonight.
Well, we had a couple cancellations.
Oh, okay. Constance Ski, neighbor. I'm very happy for the Cowings to finally be able to get this project going, because it's been a long time coming. So I'm behind them 100% and happy for them. And I just came in, so my only concern, which I'm sure that they'll take care of it, I just wanted to make sure, was any sort of water runoff onto the property, because the newest houses, two larger houses that were built up the road, neither one of them have gutters, and there's a lot of there's significant runoff that comes down the laneway, and ultimately I'm at the very bottom, and so I take a lot of water when there's a huge storm, and so I was concerned about that. And one, which it sounds like they're thinking a lot, they're already thinking about that and going to address that, which is great. And the other concern I have, and I don't know if it's under your jurisdiction or not, but I thought I would ask, is that the laneway is not in great shape, and after I did my construction, I regraded the whole thing, and but that has not happened with subsequent construction. So ultimately, I've been really the main person that has been doing all the maintenance on that road, and it gets a little expensive. So I'm just hoping that after this construction is over, because I know it'll be probably pretty beaten up, if it could be put back where hopefully it functions as it should, which is that the water that comes down the laneway goes into, especially that last ditch, goes into the what do you call it?
Detention pond?
The what?
The detention pond?
Yeah, that actually will go in there and not just sort of come down into my basement. So yeah, the extension pond, so that all of that works, should it be disturbed with all the big trucks coming in and out.
So as far as the road's concerned, we do not have any purview over that, but as far as the runoff, are you doing dry wells, or what are you doing?
He's gonna, I want to say installing, a good word, driveway to take care of some of that problem that she mentioned. agreement though, I thought, with, between all the Pushing Stone Lane people and to maintain that road as part of the subdivision, but I don't know if it's being maintained.
Well, that's unfortunate.
yeah,
What are you doing for the roof runoff?
Well, the roof runoff is all going into the infiltration basins, except this one side, which is going into a rain garden, which is located just before there's several large trees.
All right.
So is the rain garden right on our adjoining property? Is that?
It's about 10 feet off,
Uh-huh.
between, you know, the big trees are, and your house is right over here.
Uh-huh.
So, basically, it's gonna take all the runoff, which is coming in here, and infiltrate it, rather than let it run all over the place, basically.
So the rain garden should improve what conditions are now.
Yeah, currently, there's nothing, I mean, it just goes down along the property line, essentially. This will
Yeah.
take care of all that, and that will.
Yeah, so hopefully it should make it better. And the other side of the house goes into underground
There's
storage.
nothing being diverted to your property, if that's what you're concerned. In other words, we're taking everything and diverting it away into the rain garden.
Okay.
And the other side is underground storage, correct?
Right, and all the other parts are underground
Yeah.
infiltration basins.
Okay.
You won't see those.
Okay,
It's
great.
the only thing we can do with this driveway, the way it is and how deep that hill is, it's the only thing you can do, basically, to take care of the stormwater.
Okay, all right. All right, well, that's good to hear, and you feel pretty confident that'll work nicely.
Yeah, well, rain gardens are better looking.
I don't really know what a rain garden is, so,
It's basically a small depression where they put plants and loam and whatnot, and it infiltrates the water, but allows vegetation to grow.
uh-huh,
The plants take up the water.
Yes.
That's the method to remove pollutants. The
You plant
plants
certain
act
kind of
as
sediments
media.
and things, and they take up the water.
okay, and that's the water that would be coming down from the
From the
laneway?
laneway and along that side of the house.
Okay, okay, all right, well, good, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, thank you.
Have a good evening. All right, any other questions from the audience? Okay, well, if there's no questions, have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
All in favor? Oh, that was Jason and Phil. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that's unanimously on. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
I hope your puppy's feeling better.
Thank you, hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to take it off again.
All right, last hearing is an extension, let me get this here, extension permit for the order conditions for Stephen McDaniel, SE 801939, which is 988, is it Beach Road, is that what this is?
East Beach, 96 East Beach.
Oh, 96 East Beach Road. All right, the 8s and the E's almost look the same.
Mr. Chairman, this is a request for an extension for Stephen McDaniel, property located at 96 East Beach Road. This is an extension request for 3 years for file number SE 801939. This request is for the owner to provide or perform beach lot maintenance. Typical of our conditions, it requires a sample, only beach compatible material is allowed. Recommendations, Westport Conservation should approve the request for a 3-year extension for Stephen McDaniel for file number SE 801939 for 3 years.
All right. Do we have a motion? Any
Motion to
questions?
approve.
Any questions from the audience? No, all right. Motion to approve from Kevin, do you have a second?
Second.
Second from Jason, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's unanimously on. All right, now we're just gonna move on to bills and minutes. Do you guys have any questions, or you just would like the show? You're like, all right. You have nothing better to do than to watch us, huh? Sorry. Are you all set? Do you have any questions? You're good? Okay. All right, so the first bill we have is for WB Mason office supplies, $5.88. Any motion to pay?
Motion to pay. Second.
Motion from Jason, second from Kevin. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, that's unanimously owned. Second, we have another bill, East Bay Media, $369 for advertising of hearings. The motion?
Motion to pay.
Motion from Jason, second.
Second.
Second from Kevin. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, that's unanimous. Pass that down. No minutes tonight, Leo? Nothing to be approved? Well, not in there. It's okay, we'll get them next time. Chris, what do you have for us this fine evening?
I have, member Phil Weinberg had discussed with me a consideration for Pine Ridge Estates, which is a chapter 40B, proposed development off of Westport Lakes Road, off of Route 177. Phil and I discussed the stormwater design that is being proposed, because there has been some contention on what is proposed and what is requested by the consultant engineer. So I wanted to, I don't know if Phil wanted to add to this, but I think we have a time to approve this at the next meeting if Phil wanted to come up with a comments and we can put them in a letter fashion. So I don't know if you wanted to add any more. I know you went back and forth with Matt a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's a,
Basically comments to the ZBA so that in their decision making, they consider what our concerns are through the process. We are not one that gets booted from the process and relative, as the planning board does, the Board of Health and Conservation stay within the state minimum requirements of the law, so.
yeah, so the disagreement between the applicant and the consultant for the ZBA is that the applicant has been arguing that all that should be required to manage the stormwater is a detention basin, based on their perception of what the characteristics of the soil are. And the consultant is making the case that based on looking at those same soil characteristics, that the stormwater regulations would require an infiltration basin. And it's not totally, and like Chris said, eventually it'll come to us. It's not totally clear what if there's a meeting happening on the 21st of May?
May 21st, I
Yeah, something like that. You know, as to, so we have an opportunity to comment on that, and based on what I've read, I think the consultant makes a good case for it, and to be the infiltration basin, and so I don't really know whether or not the ZBA will just essentially kick the plan to us, or will make a determination that the plan that they approve will have the infiltration basin. And I don't think this is part of what the applicant is looking for a waiver from. I think it's just a technical dispute at this point. So I do think it would be worthwhile to comment on, I think it could be worthwhile to us if we, if based on this final discussion at the ZBA, to send a signal to the applicant that if they come before us, either we're fine with the detention basin or we really think it should be the infiltration basin. So it was really an agreement to submit a comment on this.
Do you want to put the comment together and distribute it before the next meeting so we can discuss it and vote on it?
Yeah, or Chris and I,
We'll work on it together, but
yeah,
just
we're
get it to us before the next
definitely
meeting
work
so
on
we
it
can read it.
together and see if, because certainly if the consultant, kind of convinces the ZBA, they might tell the applicant to come back with a plan that has an infiltration basin, that's the one that we're going to approve. Or they could, be neutral about it, we'll just have to see. And then the battle will be reenacted here for us.
Yeah, so I agree with Phil. I'd rather have a one-stop shop plan that's created with
Right.
all
So why don't you guys put a letter
concerns.
together?
We get it before us,
Yeah.
Get it distributed before the meeting, that people can read it, we'll discuss it, vote on it, and then we can send it out, which will be the 13th, and their meeting's the 21st, so that's fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Leon, can you put that under discussion for next meeting, please?
What is the development?
It's called the Pine Ridge Estates.
40B, you put that after it, it'll be. Thank you, Phil.
All right, anything else?
That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Is that the subdivision or the development, it's like a big T?
That was the old, it was gonna be 55 and older housing.
Yeah, start off with the
Yes,
golf
it's gonna
course
be a
that
big
we-
T,
we-
yes,
yeah,
off
yeah,
of
yeah,
West
yeah,
Fort Lake,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah, so it's,
All right.
Going
38
up
homes
and
and
linear
10,
along the
and
uplands.
38 homes and 10 40B, 40B projects.
All right, other than that, we'll look for a motion to adjourn, please.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
That was Jason and Burr, all in favor, opposed? That's unanimous, say on.